You're good.
Thank you for watching the Us Takeover Engine Builder magazine here on Instagram.
Shout out to Engine Builder magazine
Yeah.
for having us on.
Yep. We'll
So
go ahead and give you guys a quick little tour of the shop here, and let's get started.
All right.
I'll show them the office real quick, Gina.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Gina. This is Fast Forward Race Engines. This is our office area here. We also located in Newport Richey, Florida. We forgot to mention that. Sunny, it's beautiful weather out today. Here's our office. We display some of our engines in here. We take these to a few events. You know, we're big for our Coyote game, so, you know, we have this one. We also have some of our VR38 stuff. We don't do a whole lot of our VR38s, but it's something that we have done and that we do. They're fun little engines. And then let's throw in a little bit of history about Joe. Most of you who didn't know, Joe comes from a huge racing family on his dad's side. So we obviously have to display the generations of helmets here. We got Joe's grandfather's helmet up here when he raced back in the day, and then Joe's dad, and then obviously Joe's helmet. We've raced a lot of circle track, offshore boat racing, a little of everything.
A little bit of everything, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much what we've done.
Yeah.
So here's where, you know, I take your phone calls, your emails, your questions, all that good stuff. Best way to get a hold of us or me, email. Send us an email. I'm good at replying back to those. Takes a couple days sometimes, just depends on how busy we are, but we'll get to you. So let's go check out our shop and see
Give you a little tour.
how this all goes down.
All right, well, first area is the shipping area. This is where we receive parts in here, receive them in. Nick gets them all validated, make sure they're the right parts that are coming in these days. It's a big hurdle, you know, that everyone's dealing with. This is the area where engines are ready to leave. Here's a few of them that are ready to go right now. Packaged up, some Coyotes. Big thing that we do is a lot of Coyote builds, so a lot of short blocks and pretty revolving door. We'll give you a little tour of the machine shop. So engines will come in here and they'll get torn down here, get cleaned here, final clean, disassembled, the whole 9 yards. Here is some of Induction Performance's 2J builds that are getting ready to get started. We'll get these all apart, get them cleaned, MagnaFlux, check them for cracks, and then start them through the process. Shout out to those guys.
Yeah, Victor and his crew. Awesome performance this weekend at Texas 2K with Booger.
Yep, 682 I think they went at 208, so good job, guys. Good job.
So we'll move over to block work.
Yeah, we'll show you guys kind of what we do in the block department. This is the CNC machine that we use to bore the blocks for sleeves. Like I said, we do a lot of Coyote engines, and one of the biggest things that we do is install these ductile iron sleeves. We'll give you a little rundown of how we do it real quick. We bore the blocks first for sleeves in the machine. After they come out, this is what they look like right here. Okay. Then we'll take the sleeves. We have an installation plate that we use that takes and holds the sleeves from the ID.
Yeah, everyone has a question. Our secret way of installing sleeves.
Right. So we don't use any Loctite to hold the sleeves in. Everything's pressed, and it's more of a temperature differential. The block needs to be X hot, and the sleeve needs to be, you know, X cold, and to get them in. You don't have a whole lot of time to do it, but once you're accompanied to do it, it's not too bad. We put all 4 in at one time, and they're all pressed. They all take press, so they don't move. They do really good as far as that's concerned. After the sleeves are pressed in, it'll look like this block. This is Jeremy Howells from Fat House's GT350. Getting ready to get the final machine work done. Has sleeves put in it. You can see all the flats are nice and flat, squared up. No big gaps on any of them. This is a GT500. That's the same way. We've made lifting plates for all of our Coyotes, so we just grab them and go. This stays on at all times while it's here. So no grabbing it, picking it up, everything's lifted with a hoist.
Into the machine.
Yep, right into the machine. So then, once the sleeves are installed, what we'll do is we seat the sleeves down all the way, and then we'll do the final machine work in the CNC as well. We'll come in, we'll locate it, we will deck the block, and then we will O-ring it, and we will bore it to leave 5 thousandths to hone currently. And then that'll be the final rough machine. After that, the block will get final honed and line honed, and that's pretty about all the machine work that it takes.
Cool.
Give you a rundown of some of the rest of the stuff. Here's some blocks that are ready to be bored. These are all 500s and Gen 3s. These are all ready for sleeves. We've got some more 500s over here, GT500s. We do some development work. This is a McLaren 720 that we're waiting on sleeves for to get in. This is a Lamborghini that we're doing some development work. There's another one over here that we're doing. These are a couple of projects for some homeboys that we do, local guys that we don't do a lot of that stuff, but a little bit for some of the local guys. Mm-hmm. A lot of private label stuff that we do. This is all Viper engines that we do. Got a few more over there. All private label stuff, but big horsepower builds.
So just give me a rundown so we can tell everyone, like, more specifically the type of engines we work on, since it's very specific.
About 5 different platforms that we work on. We do the Ford Coyote, we do the Dodge Viper, we do 2 JZs for induction performance, VR38s, and then we're working on this Lamborghini program currently. So 5 different engine platforms. Anything other than that, it's just onesies and very rare that we do them. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty much it. That's our
main business.
That's our main.
Yep.
Yeah. We don't really sway outside of that.
No, staying on.
A lot of people call us about LS stuff and things like that.
Some
and
of the big drag race engines. We
big
still
drag.
have a couple that we support, but we'll give you an example of one of them that we're building, but we don't do a lot of that anymore.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get into the shaft side. This is a surface grinder we use every now and then. Here is a Bridgeport mill that we use for doing our Mallory work. Mainly, we'll hang the crankshaft from here. We drill the counterweights, read the counterweight, and deburr it and get it ready for Mallory at that point. Over here is we've built this to press Mallory in. So we'll put the crankshaft in here, the counterweights, put a piece of Mallory in, and this is how we press the Mallory into the counterweights.
It's all pretty cool to actually watch that happen with that little thing there. Yeah.
Mainly use the lathe for turning our Mallory down and final polishing. Doing all of our final polish on our journals on the lathe.
So I have a question, real quick. Someone asked, do we have power packages, for example, a 1200 horsepower or 1500 horsepower? Or, I'm assuming they're going to refer to Coyotes. I'm assuming they're
We don't
Coyote.
sell like the rotating assembly or any individual packages like that. We only sell short box currently because of the demands of the parts. If we had, if parts were easy to get right now, we could get as many rods and pistons and crankshafts. Yeah, we could offer that, but we don't currently. We only offer it in short block packages. And we could kind of go over those stages here in a little bit as well.
Pricing, that is, that's just something that you're going to have to contact us about.
Yep. So right here is doing a Viper crankshaft, doing some of the finished balancing work on it now. Looks like he's pretty close here. Here's an example of some of the Mallory that's in the crankshaft. In the rear. some that's in the front. That whole crankshaft is 100 and so pounds, and it's all within a gram. So it looks like he's just about done with it here. He'll go ahead and take it out. We'll check all of the journal sizes, and then we'll final polish it and clean it, and that'll one be about ready done. Thank you.
Thanks, Trey.
All of our valve work's done on our VGS 20 seat guide machine. It's a form cutter machine. Typical valve shop stuff. You can see. Show you some of the cutter blades. You know, so we have a huge assortment of different angled cutter blades that we use for different cylinder heads. If it's a Coyote head, if it's a 2J head, you know, obviously they all have different ports and growths in them, so they're also different angles and whatnot. Here's a couple examples of some heads that we have on the shelf.
But this is where all of our heads sit and wait for
Machine work
and, you know, things that they
Coyote
need.
stuff.
We got some big hemi power up here. Again, not something we do often, you know, just...
This is for Justin Swanstrom. We're just
We've known those
freshening
guys
them
for a long time.
up. Yep, just freshening them up for those guys. It's a good dude, doing really good. So this is the final finished side of the shop currently. This is what we hone all the blocks with. Jared does all of the finished work here. Jared will final hone all of the cylinders here with torque plates on them. They'll all get line honed. One of the things that we do a little bit different from some of the other shops that we've noticed is when we do our line hone work on a block that's got steel main caps and it's an aluminum block, we actually flip the block over and put the main caps down, and we let the mandrel support, the main caps are supported by the mandrel, and we use the steel side of it so it doesn't drop the main line in the Coyote. So that's one of the things that we do. We keep the block right side up on the Coyotes. Right here, he's doing a 2J for induction. He's machined it for billet main caps, which are right here. So we've got some billet mains going on this guy right here, and then we'll start line honing it, getting it to size. It's already bored, so we're in the honing process now.
No, we do not do any inline 4
Nope.
stuff here,
Nope.
unfortunately.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. That used to be something we did.
So one of the things Rob's doing here, we do Rob, Chevelle Rob.
Hello.
Hey, Rob.
Hi. Hello, everyone.
One of the things that we have been doing for the last couple of years is obviously checking the cams and cam housings. We always check the camshaft for straightness. One of the biggest things with these Coyotes is they'll have inconsistent journals and whatnot, and they'll all the journal up. So this is one of the things that Rob does on every cylinder head that we do is we validate and make sure that the cams are all nice and free and not going to have any problems.
I know, he stuck me behind the camera, right?
The good looking one, right?
Someone just said, show your face, girl.
So this is where we surface all
Let
of
me
the
find
heads.
that flip button. Hold on.
There you go.
Hey, guys. All right.
Right? This is where we do all of our cylinder head surfacing work here. So we surface all the heads here. And this is the rod area. We mainly use this for pin fitting rods. We pin fit every rod, every piston. We don't resize rods much anymore. We do use it to make them a little bit more consistent every now and then, but mainly for pin fitting. Every single engine we do, we pin fit. So, yeah.
We do have an exciting new hone coming too. Hopefully in July. It's on order.
Yep.
So,
New Sun home.
New Sun & Hone. So thanks to those guys at Sun & for, you know,
Working with us.
working with us and getting us what we need. So into the assembly room. Here
All right.
we are.
Another display over here.
So we have another display over here.
This is for induction. This one's made the trip to SEMA and PRI as well.
Let me get on this side of you so we can see. Yeah, we love our little displays. They come out really cool. We
Yep.
got a really awesome welder that puts this stuff together for us.
Yeah, Ryan Eichert. Ryan
Yep.
does a great job for us.
Shout out to you, Ryan.
Here's a couple builds that are done. This is a Gen 3. We could give you an example of a Gen 3 ready to go. This blocks our stage 3, which is fully sleeved. It's O-ring. Comes with one-piece head dowels in it. Manly piston, manly rod, Boss crankshaft.
Hey, Nick, I see you. We're almost there, bud.
We tap this here, so no more press-in plugs in the front. This is actually a SEMA build here. This is
This one's
for,
going.
Jason Fields. This is going to SEMA this year. So
How much power do you expect this Gen 3 to hold?
this one will. It's going in a factory 5. They're 35 pickup truck, and it's destined to make around 1,450 horsepower, wheel horsepower. So, yep.
Nice.
So here's an example of the short blocks. You can see the Mallory pressed into the crankshaft in the front. Every crankshaft's engraved. Every rod's numbered.
Yeah, we could probably get those numbers.
You can see our oil squirter block offs from here.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
Oil squirter block ups down there. I don't know if
There you go.
they're down in there.
We use a Torx head bolt, and those also, everyone else sells them with an Allen bolt, and they always strip out when they go to take them out and freshen them up. So we use a Torx head bolt in them. Just something a little bit different that we do.
Again, that's our Gen 3 Stage 3 build.
That build is good to 1,1600 wheel horsepower. We've had guys take them further than that. But the average build is going to be right around that number. This is another one. This is a GT500 build. Same situation. One piece head dowels, sleeved O-ring. This is good to around 2,000 horsepower.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there a relationship between deck height and torque?
A relationship between deck height and torque. Some people might think so because of rod length and rod to stroke ratio, but I don't believe so, no. I think torque is a result of efficiency in a lot of ways, so no, I do not believe deck height has much to do with torque. Maybe if you're talking about runner length, if you're increasing deck height, you're increasing runner length, now that could be a conversation, but that's pretty far down the line, and that's more into the induction side of it. So.
Nice. Over here we have some long blocks going together, some with some cylinder heads on them.
This is a stage 1. This is a 1,000 horsepower build, nothing crazy. This is essentially just a rod and piston build.
Now this one has
An H-beam.
an H-beam rod in it.
This has the same rod and piston that we use in the big builds, ARP main studs. It does take, sometimes they take a little bit of Mallory, sometimes they don't, depending on the crankshaft, but H-beam rod.
Yeah. So this is a stage 1 build.
Stage 1, yep. This is another block ready to get assembled. This is not assembled yet.
This is just a short block waiting.
This is waiting. To be
Who do
assembled.
we have here?
28.
Oh, Shout out to Nick.
So this
Here
is
we
Nick's.
go, bud.
Ready to go together?
Yep. You're
Long
up
machine.
next. So, you want a good look at what we got going on here with you?
You can see everything's lined up.
Everything looks great.
That's next.
Now this one is our stage 2. With our stage 2, we do piston rod combo,
Sleeve.
sleeve,
No over.
no O-ring, and then
This is good to 1,400 horsepower. After about 1,400 horsepower, we like to see that O-ring in there, just because you're making more cylinder pressure.
right.
So,
Yep.
yeah, Nick's coming along. Coming along real good.
So we should be there hopefully soon for you, Nick.
Yep, very soon. This is a long block that we're freshening up for a customer. This one's already made around 1,500. This is a Gen 3. I have it like this because I want to give you guys a little tip. One of the problems with the Coyotes that we run into and we have seen in the past is them breaking the snouts of the crankshafts off. Well, the cranks are fantastic. They're very strong. They do everything that they need to do in this area. But on the snout side of them, they'll every once in a blue moon break the snout off. And we relate that to the crank gear micro welding to the actual snout and getting the area up pissed off, and it essentially breaks. So one of the biggest things that we found to prevent that problem is making sure that the balancer is pressed on all the way. If the balancer is pressed on all the way, then the crank gear doesn't have a chance to move and to micro weld onto the crankshaft, and you won't have any problems. So when we install the balancer, we do so with the oil pan off, and we do it so we could come in here and we could put a feeler gauge behind the balancer right here and actually make sure that there's no clearance, that it's actually pushed up dead against it. And then we Loctite the bolt and we torque it. If it's an ARP bolt, 125 foot-pounds. That has saved so many things by just making sure that the balancer's pressed on all the way. So, little tech tip, press the balancer on with the pan off, put a feeler gauge in there, and make sure it's all the way on there. So,
No, not all of our engines have cylinder sleeves. If you're referring to the Coyotes that we're talking about right now, we do have the stage 1, which is this one over here going together. This one right here is just this, what do I call it? The standard bore
standard sleeve,
sleeve
yeah.
of factory of what it comes with. That's it. We don't do anything to the cylinders.
So this is another example of what we used to build.
Used to build. This is a very rare, but she sure is pretty.
This is a 10-inch deck height, small block Ford for a Grudge race car, twin turbo build on alcohol. So I would say it will make 3,000 plus horsepower. Pretty neat build. Big cubic inch. Big project. Turned out good. Should run very.
All super custom.
Yeah.
Everything about this thing.
Every little piece.
Every little piece.
Big block Ford cam tunnel or cam height. 10-inch deck height, 60 millimeter roller cam tunnel. All dry sump. All steel rockers from Jessel. Pro Series stuff. 937 DLC lifter. It's all good stuff. Make a lot of power. Here's our crank rack. This is how we hold all our cranks. So when they come in from getting balanced, they get tagged. Everything is, we also use My Shop Assist to keep track of all of our jobs that we've got going on.
Oh yeah, shout out to those guys too. Awesome software.
Yep, works really good for us. We use that to keep track of all of our builds. But these are all our crankshafts that are already balanced, or they're validated that they're straight and on size, and then they come in the room so they don't rust. This room stays 72 all year. or at least we try to keep it 72 all year.
Even when it's 92 outside.
Yeah. But this is all of them, and this is you know, all validated already.
We do some port work on those cylinder heads, yes.
We do.
We do.
We do some custom port work.
We do custom port work. It's
Here's a couple examples. So this is a GT350 heads
oh, okay.
for Nick. All
Oh,
done.
there you are again, Nick.
Surfaced, deburred, valve jobbed. We clean everything by hand, so we don't use any abrasives as far as any kind of foreign material stuff like sand or any kind of blast material. Everything is just Scotch-Brited by hand to clean some of the carbon out. You will see some carbon left and little traces and whatnot, but it sure does beat having sand run through the engine. So no, try not to cause any problems if we don't have to. So, but yeah, those are Nick. There's a good example. This is Jason Fields for the SEMA build. Some more parts on the shelf. AJ's build.
Yeah, and let's give a shout out to AJ. We are missing AJ today, our engine assembler.
This is his.
He is out. He's unable to be here with us today. COVID. He caught COVID.
He does.
So he's says hi to everyone, and
Week
you know,
2 here.
week 2.
Yeah.
We miss him.
But
So
this
hi
is-
AJ.
This
We'll
is
see you
his
soon,
little
bud.
project here that he's been working on. We're all really super excited for. He's got a little Mustang. He's going to be putting this 6-liter in. Manly helped us out with some rods and pistons and whatnot, and turbo build. So it's going to be a really turbo bullet build.
Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah, I don't know what he's calling it yet, but 5-year plan, I think, is what it's called. 5-year plan. This is how we assemble the heads here. So Rob puts all of the cylinder heads together with this machine. It fits valve springs that we can put it together with that. So
Yeah, so you can kind of see we have like our block, short block stuff, long block over on this area of the assembly room, and then over here on this side we have where cylinder heads go together.
yeah. Some of the parts we have.
Oh, there's Jenna. Hey, Jenna. Let me do a flip around and say hi. Hey, girl. It's probably AJ. Or both of them.
Parts room here.
Both of them.
So these are all the jobs. These are all of our Viper jobs down here. Some more. We just had a big run of Coyotes get done. Here's a couple more. These are our long blocks that are getting done. We don't do a lot of long blocks anymore, but they're on.
Yeah, so these are the clean parts. They come in here and grab them while they're putting the engines together out here.
Yep. This is our other parts inventory. These are our sleeves for our Coyote builds. Main studs, valve springs, some miscellaneous bearings from the old days when we were doing the drag race stuff. That's all this randomness here. Show you guys some of the parts that we had made for the Coyote that are pretty neat. Here is some solid head dowels that we had made. They're threaded.
I don't know how up close I can get with these.
That's alright. Just kind of shows just some
Head
of the
threaded
stuff.
head dowels.
Yeah.
So we have our own made.
Here's
These are generally on your engine if you have them done here with us.
Yep.
Here, take those ones back. And then
oil pump stanchions, the pickup tube stanchions.
these are pretty cool how they turned out.
Yeah, they turned out good, and those are already machined to length for the ARP hardware, so there's no guesswork. You're able to buy them and just put them right on.
Yeah, so if you're needing any of these miscellaneous pieces, give us a call. We got them.
Yep. Here's some of our rally plates. These, we'll show you an example of the display piece in the office. These are for some of the big power builds. Not sure how much it helps yet, but you could put some wiring to it, fasten it. It's all steel, so all ARP hardware. So we'll see. We run them on the big power cars. We haven't split one of those in half yet, so it's a good thing. This is another little neat thing that we just came out with that not a lot of people really have seen or know about, but for the chain guides, for the secondary chain guides,
This goes on the Coyote.
they always have a lot of play in them. And AJ wasn't happy with it and wanted a solution. And we saw that Ford originally made some of these spacers, but they were also inconsistent. So we had Pat from iQuest make us some of these out of stainless, and boy, do they work good. They take up that slack. They fit.
Can I put it in my hand?
You can.
I could probably get a better picture of it this way.
So they work really, really good.
There you go.
Inductions.
Yeah, induction shelf over here. I just had some guy go like live with me. I don't know.
All right. Well,
Okay.
like I said, shout out the engine builder.
Yeah,
You guys are
Greg.
to do this.
You guys, thanks for having us. This is that cool acknowledgement that we got last year, month back in December of 2021. So thanks to you guys. Oh yeah. And then just back into our office. So this is it. So thank you guys for joining us. We had a great time. Hopefully we will talk at all of you guys here in the future.
Thanks.